Classic Restos, proudly brought to you by Shannons, where you can be part of the Shannons Club. PENRITE Oil, Hare and Forbes Machinery House, Pace Farm, and Duncan Foster Engineering. Why do people get excited about coming to Chrysler and Dodge events? Easy, because they are Mopars, and Mopar was responsible for building some of the most outrageous cars on the planet. I'm Fletch, and this is Classic Restos. Welcome to the 2016 Carlisle Chrysler Nationals. But before we go any further, here's a few words from the people that help bring Classic Restos to us each and every week. It's thanks to Shannons. Ask about multi-policy discounts and sign up for the Shannons Club. Call 134646 for a quote and see more at shannons.com.au. For oils, coolants, additives and technical assistance, oil right, use PENRITE. And Hare and Forbes has the range. Buy online at machineryhouse.com.au. This is an incredible event, attracting not only massive crowds, but an amazing range of vehicles by the Chrysler family, and of course cubic tons of rolling history. It's a few big days over 2 big TV episodes. Time to brace yourself for just some of what you're about to see. This year, Carlisle Chrysler Events Manager Ed Bezeski and his team have done it again. 2016 lends itself to host NASCAR Hall of Famer Richard Petty. Catherine Bach gets time away from those Duke boys. Yes, indeed, it's Daisy Duke from the Dukes of Hazzard. And keeping close is Rick Hurst, who was Clintas Hog in the same TV series. This year's Hall of Fame tent once again pays tribute to the mighty Ram Chargers and the Golden Commandos, along with other cool and significant individuals attributing to the success of the Pentastar. Building T is always mighty. This year is no exception. The American Dodge Charger celebrates its 50th anniversary. The famous 426 Street Hemi celebrates its 50th anniversary. Also in T, the special vehicle display will have you drooling over various featured vehicles. Building Y welcomes the C-body cars. Yes, the big cars with awesome drivelines and top-end highway prowess, renowned for huge gulps of freeway manners mile after mile. And last but not least, the Mopar Survivors Tent. This is a big hit year after year, and there's more original torque flights and torsion bars hanging in here. You'll see this and so much more. Come with me now as I show you the 2016 Carlisle Chrysler Nationals. It's the 50th anniversary of the Street Hemi, and this is it. A factory-produced, octane-inducing, high-revving ground pounder surpassed by none fact. Taking in cubic chunks of atmosphere, 7 litres of radical valve angle design, reefing mixture through hemispherical quench in chambers matched by no others in a perfect crossflow design. The slightly detuned Street 426 Hemi offered 425 horsepower at 5,000 RPM and 490 foot-pounds of torque at 4,000 RPM. This was responsible advertising at the time. A few engine mods turned these figures into a complete joke, making 500 horsepower plus easy. The 426 Street Hemi was offered in many vehicles across the Dodge, Plymouth platforms, and due to production costs and governments losing their sense of humour, it was discontinued in 1971. There's only 2 types of people that associate themselves with the Hemi: the people that own one and the people that want one. 2016 Carlisle Chrysler Nationals. Of course, this year, the 50th anniversary of the 426 Street Hemi. We have a beautiful example here. We have Mike. How you doing, Mike?
Fletch, doing great. How are you?
Good, thank you. You've got a beautiful display here.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Now, the reason I think this is just so unbelievable is the 426 Hemi. In this particular car, no options, a 66 Coronet. It's a taxi cab. Man, you've got it all up front, but nothing else.
Well, taxi cab with 4 doors.
That's it.
You know, about the rarest Hemi car you'll ever see on the planet. There's 4 of them built in 66.
Mike, to say about the car having a 426 Hemi up front is just a pinnacle example. But back to the sparseness of the interior, there's something really cool about that as well. There's less that can go wrong. There's just something about the neatness of this thing.
Yeah, you're right, Fletch. There's not a whole lot in there. You know, you've got a cloth interior. The only radio you're going to hear is the sound of the engine because it doesn't have a radio. And it's about as plain Jane as you can get. It's got the cheapest steering wheel with one little center horn button, no half horn ring, and it's about as low end as you're going to get. And if you look, the Deluxe is barely a step above a taxi cab.
The guy that first purchased this car, a plain car, Coronet, although not a real basic car in terms of, in the range, these are a full-size car, a very nice car. But he ordered the 426 Hemi with no other option, so all the guy's money went to the engine. What was his purpose? Why did he do this?
Well, Fletch, the story is, and it's from good sources, because this car here has come out of the only one that went out of the States to Canada. It was originally sold to a veterinarian up in Canada that his plan was to buy the car, needed a 4-door because his wife said, with the kids, you got to buy something where you can all get in it. And his thought was to put the big Hemi in it because he was going to pull one of those Airstream trailers, which the hitch never got put on the car, and I don't think he owned the car very long when he first had it. Then it kind of bounced around up in Canada, where probably the most well-known Hemi car up in Canada is this gold one right here. And finally wound its way down here in the United States, where then I was able to get my hands on it and restore it.
The car salesman at the dealership had a good day because, look, with all due respects, this thing could have come with a 318 or a 383. It still would have pulled the trailer all right.
Well, I think so, and I think, the guy that owned the dealership thought, did you get enough money down when this guy ordered a Hemi 4-door that if I got to eat it, he don't come back and pay for it? Right? We don't get all covered up because they're not standing in line for a Hemi 4-door back then.
Mike, wonderful catching up with you and bringing this Coronet along here to the 2016 Carlisle Chrysler Nationals. It's a wolf in sheep's clothing. There's no doubt about it.
It's a beautiful car. Probably the best running Hemi I got. I've got a bunch of Hemi cars. This is the best one so far.
I'm sorry to hear you're doing it so tough. Thank you very much, Mike. I appreciate it.
Oh, no, Fletch, thank you. Thanks for coming over.
You are watching the sensational 2016 Carlisle Chrysler Nationals, and you're seeing it first on Classic Restos. Back with more right after this.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannons,
We've also got Shannons Home and Contents cover.
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be.
Shannons.
Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
PENRITE, Australian-made, family-owned and operated. Make premium quality engine and racing oils, warranty-approved coolants, automatic transmission and manual gear oils, a complete range of engine and fuel additives, heavy-duty and industrial products for every application. Visit penriteoil.com for more information. PENRITE, Australian-made for Australian conditions since 1926.
If you have a restoration project, Hare and Forbes has the tools that you need. Look at these restoration products: shrinker stretchers, dollies, mallets, bead rollers, profile gauges, professional panel restoration kits, and so much more. Now I warn you, enter at your own risk because you will end up buying something. So come along to your Cap City store or browse and buy online at machineryhouse.com.au because Hare and Forbes has the range. Moving through this incredible part of Carlisle events, the Mopar Survivors Tent, we have Charlie. How you doing?
Great, Fletch. How about you?
Good, thank you. You've got a very special car here, a Chrysler Imperial two-door car. Wow. Tell us the deal here.
It's a 64 Chrysler Imperial. They made approximately 5,064. There's only a handful of good original ones left, and this car has 56,000 miles. It's got all original paint, chrome, upholstery. It's almost like a time warp car, a Survivor time capsule.
Explain to us the criteria that the cars have to be to make it into this tent, Charlie.
They have to be 85% original, original paint, original chrome, and they have to be as close to the way they left the factory as possible. And that's what this one is.
How amazing. This Mopar Survivors Tent is a big hit here at Carlisle, simply because these are the moving time capsules. I mean, this represents what's left.
It's true. In other words, anybody can restore a car if you have unlimited money, but the car's only original once, and the original cars are the most appreciated ones, and nothing drives like an original car. This car still drives like a brand new car.
Charlie, run through some of the features that this car has.
This car has power seats, left and right, split, a pearlescent white leather interior with a red dashboard, red carpeting. It's the first year for AM/FM radio. This car has that option. Also has a power antenna, front and rear speakers, has power windows. They have compartments in the doors that you flip open, storage compartments. And the gas cap is in the middle of the back bumper in the Imperial Eagle, and you just fold that down. It's just so cool to put gas in it. And these cars were basically Chrysler's creme de la creme, the best cars Chrysler made. The front end on this car is pieced and seamed in one like a Rolls Royce. The fenders meet the header panel, and it's like a one-piece unit. And these were built in the Jefferson Assembly Plant, which is a special plant. And they had all the high-quality, experienced Chrysler employees building these cars. And this was the Chrysler to own back in '64.
Wow, well, there blows half an hour of conversation. That's incredible. I mean, what pinnacle top-end cars these are. I mean, even the stainless steel on the doors, the trim on the doors, absolutely sensational.
Fletch, this car also has a frame that is approximately maybe 8-9 inches wide on both sides, and it has 6 bulkheads going across. It's almost as strong as a truck. This car has no flex if you hit railroad tracks or drive over bumps. It's like you're driving a one-piece solid steel piece.
And, of course, we have to talk about the go-go department in terms of what powers it up front. We've got the beautiful 413.
Right, beautiful 413 with 340 horsepower, 10.1 compression ratio, and it just runs like a Swiss watch, nice and smooth and silent.
I mean, you have to agree. I mean, how outrageous are these cars? How beautiful they are. They've got so much finesse. And mentioning out back a little bit again with that rear bar, that would have to go down personally as one of the nicest Chrysler rear ends I believe ever made.
That's my favorite too. I love the styling of the back, where they have that continental style in the trunk lid, and the way the bumpers go out with the taillights. To me, it's so beautiful.
I'm so pleased I caught up with you, Charlie.
Yeah,
Look,
me too,
what
Fletch.
can I say? It's a beautiful car. I love what you've done, and you represent the Mopar Survivors Tent so very well.
I've seen you here over the years, Fletch, and you're always a true gentleman, and you always do a great job. And I saw your last YouTube video. It was fantastic. It was so good. So I'm glad you came over. It's so nice to meet you.
Thanks, Charlie. I really appreciate it. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you, Fletch.
How cool is Fletchy's job? He comes here to Carlisle in Pennsylvania for Carlisle events, and he catches up with Clintas Hog, which is Rick Hurst from the TV series Dukes of Hazzard. How you doing, Rick?
I'm well, Fletch. How are you?
Great, great. You know, growing up, watching you on Australian television in Dukes of Hazzard, it's quite surreal to be with you right now. Now, tell us, how much fun did you have doing the TV series?
It's kind of like going to a birthday party every day with all your best friends. We had a ball because they let us play around with the script. We got to invent stuff, got to do pratfalls. I'm a big physical comedy fan, so I was in hog heaven, pardon the pun, since I was Boss Hog's cousin. I was.
And that's very sad with his passing as well. I believe he was a great guy.
Oh, he was amazing. He spoke 6 languages fluently. He
did on the show too.
Yes, he did. He spoke some of it on the show. In fact, one day I came down to rehearse a scene with him and a guy named Andrew Johnson, who's an actor who you might remember from Dirty Harry. He's the bad guy in Dirty Harry. And I sit down to rehearse the scene. They start doing it in Japanese. Wow. and they kept it, and they just look at me when it was my turn to throw a line in. So
That's a talent, Rick. I mean, I'm flat out sometimes speaking English. Now, the famous 1969 Dodge Charger behind us. Now, we know you guys went through a whole bunch of those cars. Tell us, what were they like? What was it like having fun with those cars?
well, it was great because you could slide them and skip them, and of course you could even jump them. I hear. Yeah. We never got to do the fun stuff. We all always wanted to jump something, but they would say, no, we have something to do that. But it had mega power. It was a 440 RT, so it had all the horsepower we needed.
Were they different engine cars? Like some had 318s, some had 440s?
Yes, they, particularly the ones that they jumped. We ran out of them in California, so, any kind of Dodge Charger. So they went around the country with a auto trailer carrier and put stickers on windshields. If you want to sell your Charger, call this number.
Yeah, I heard that they were giving about $1,000 for the cars.
Back then, that was a good deal.
The Plymouth police cars that you used to drive around in, tell us about those cars. How much fun did you have there?
Well, they were not quite as tweaked as the 440. They were several different cars. The Crown Vic, also several different Ford products, and they were serviceable. They weren't as fun, but they sure floated well.
Yeah, I mean, scenes of the show, I mean, are a lot of dirt roads and stuff like that. It just must have been just a whole bunch of fun doing that stuff.
It was. I mean, I can't tell you how much fun we had getting to play around with everything, because they came to trust us, and whatever we did usually stayed in the show. Yeah. So for us, it was a romp. It was a cheery day.
Rick, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. There's a whole bunch of people waiting here at the tent, and this is the world-famous tent here for this weekend.
Yes,
so
it is.
Congratulations to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Fletch. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
How to all my friends down under.
How cool is this? 2016, we have the Golden Commandos and the Ram Chargers in attendance. They've both had their 1964 Hemi cars painstakingly restored. Now, both of these cars back in the day were highly competitive. Once upon a time, fierce in battle. This year, they unite in the Hall of Famers tent here at Carlisle Events. Well, if you'd like to find out what 707 horsepower feels like, accompanied with a whole mountain of torque, it's an opportunity for you this year at the 2016 Carlisle Chrysler Nationals to ride on board a brand new Challenger. You can put yourself on one of these thrill rides. Hold on to your hat. Well, I hope you're having just as much fun watching the 2016 Carlisle Chrysler Nationals as I am bringing the episodes to you. Back with more in just a moment.
There is nothing quite like a Fletch tour. Carlisle or Ford Nationals, GM Nationals and Chrysler Nationals await you.
On a Fletch tour, you don't have to worry about a thing.
I can't believe how good it's been.
Experience Route 66.
We're definitely coming back to do Route 66.
Or choose the Detroit tour, attending the Woodward Dream Cruise.
On a Fletch tour, every day just gets better and better.
You've got to do something in your life, you've got to do a Fletch tour.
There are 5 Fletch tours. See fletchtours.com or contact All Things Travel, Lara.
Hare & Forbes Machinery House has been family owned and operated for over 85 years, and it's easy to see why. And with a range like this, you cannot go wrong. Planning on welding? Look at these welding tables and clamps. Air compressors and different air tools. Sandblasting cabinets, through to spray guns. Everyone is welcome at Machinery House, and they're also open Saturday mornings. Their range of machine tools are workshop tested. There are competitive freight rates around Australia, and you can buy online at machineryhouse.com.au. So remember, Hare & Forbes has the range.
Every weekend around Australia, motoring enthusiasts get together to share their passion for cars and bikes. It's a passion that brings us together. All sorts of people, all sorts of cars and bikes. From the classics of today to the classics of tomorrow. At Shannons, we understand enthusiasts. So when it comes to insurance, it's got to be Shannons. Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
In 1926, Australia's Penrite Oil Company was established. Almost 90 years of research, development and refining under the harsh Australian conditions has made Penrite Oil what it is today. Precision, performance, reliability and protection. Championship winning products. Trust Penrite.
And out onto the show field we go. Things don't get much nicer than this. We have Brent. How you doing, buddy?
Good. Yourself, Fletch?
I'm very, very good. How good are you to bring this 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner? This is incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting for me too, Fletch.
Absolutely. You know, you're pretty laid back about this whole thing. This is an iconic car. It's a tremendous looking thing. Tell us the deal. How long have you had it?
I've had it since '87. It was pretty much wore out when I got it. Did a lot of work. Body was solid, but fixed some dents, and here we are.
So with the legacy and the history that these Plymouths have, must make you feel pretty special now in 2016 to actually have one of these winged cars.
Yeah, I was fortunate to hang on to it. Had some offers along the way before I started, but I had love for the car.
Brent, you've done a wonderful job in the restoration of the car as well. Matching numbers car?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. 446 pack car.
Yeah, 4-speed bench.
That's just amazing. See, the resources over here, I mean, these guys here, this stuff surrounds them. I'm not saying this sort of stuff is on every corner, but you do have access to be able to build these cars, preserve these cars. It's just so cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of information here at Carlisle. As far as I'm concerned, it's the best show in the country. Yeah. And I like it. I've been here 16 years.
Now, with your build time, how long did it take you?
It took longer than it should have, probably. But when I lost interest, then I quit working on it.
What's the color of the blue paint?
B5 blue.
Yep.
Yeah.
Isn't it just awesome? Absolutely tremendous. Look, I tell you something, you know, out of all the exciting cars here, this one does stand out. I mean, this is a record event here at Carlisle this year for Chrysler, approaching 3,000 cars. And they're tucked around the show field in nooks and crannies. I mean, Brett's car here is wedged up against a semi-trailer here. And Brett, it's been an absolute honour to interview you with your incredible 1970 Plymouth Superbird, the Roadrunner car, winged car, nose cone out front. Wow. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks for interviewing me, Fletch. Really had a good time.
You're welcome. The performance division of Mopar back in the day was often referred to as the Scat Pack line of vehicles. Big decisions from executives back in that time as well to pay Warner Brothers $50,000 for the use of the Roadrunner logo. And you want to know something? Although gimmicky at the time, it worked. Walking through the fairgrounds, all of a sudden, this lovely lady here, her name is Brandy, she came out and grabbed me. She said, Fletch, I want to show you my original car. We come in here, we see a dart swinger. This is like as though it's left untouched, totally original car. How you doing, Brandy?
I'm doing good, Fletch.
That is good. Now, thank you for showing me this. What does this car mean to you? Tell us the deal, how long you've had it, all that sort of stuff.
Well, Fletch, we came across this car through a family friend about 8 months ago, and we actually bought it from the original owner. She's 86 years old now and has not been able to drive for a while, but she had parked this in her garage and covered it up about 18 years ago. So we had the opportunity to get the car, and we've cleaned it up. We took it back to the original owner here about 4 days ago, and the lady was so overcome by happiness on the way we've taken care of the car so far and bringing it back that she was in tears. That's just what we do with something like this, Fletch. We make it part of our family.
I often refer to the tug on the heartstrings, and that's what it is, you know. And even if someone says, oh, I'm not a car person, technically they are. And you know why? Because everybody has a memory. We can all go back to when we were a little kid and we can remember a car that a mother or a father had, or a grandparent had, or an uncle or an aunt had. And to think that this older lady had this 69 Dart, which, let's face it, is a pretty cool car to have, complete with slant 6 engine there, 225 cubes. You can't kill them with a stick. They keep on running. And you've got this. Now, what are you going to do with it? I'm thinking the answer, and I hope I'm right here, but what are you going to do with it?
Well, Fletch, we're just going to keep her how she is. She's a beautiful car. And speaking of the memories, you know, I spoke to the lady there when we took it back to her, and I asked her what was her fondest memory. She come out and told me that her fondest memory was taking a trip every Saturday from Dayton, Ohio, over to Richmond, Indiana, with her sister to go to the mall and get a bite to eat. And that was the only time her sister got out because she was wheelchair bound.
That's amazing stuff. Look, sweetheart, I think it's lovely that you've shared this car with myself and you at home watching Classic Restos as well. Keep up the great work with this, Brandy. Well, it's a legacy, it's a tradition, and you've got it. And that is what is so special.
Yes, thank you, Fletch.
Well, how amazing is this? You know what? You have witnessed just some of the largest Chrysler event on the planet, the 2016 Carlisle Chrysler Nationals. And you want to know the best thing? Part 2 is happening next week. So in the meantime, no matter where you're watching from, please ride and drive safe. I'm Fletch, here in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, United States of America, and I thank you very much for watching.
You can like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Classic Restos TV and watch catch-up episodes at shannons.com.au. Classic Restos, proudly brought to you by Shannons, where you can be part of the Shannons Club. PENRITE Oil, Hare and Forbes Machinery House, Pace Farm, and Duncan Foster Engineering.